Now, anybody who is even remotely familiar with me knows that I am blackety black black. That extends to everything African, including the people. I am Pan-African. I believe in African unity across the continent and the diaspora. I believe in repatriation. I believe that black is everything. However, I am also aware of the ongoing debate among black folks about whether some of our African ancestors sold others of our African ancestors into slavery. And I've just come across this TikTok video that seems to provide an answer to that question as told by an African elder. Take a listen.
Some of you, when you were perhaps in school, you were told that the African chiefs sold their...
That's what they say. Right. They did.
It wasn't so. All those people who were taken there were prisoners of war. And the prisoners of war were obtained from the chiefs. Let me tell you one thing. See, the raider is having the gun and the gunpowder. Now, Ashantis, they want to expand.
Yes.
Their chiefs want to expand. The Crepes want to expand. So everybody was struggling for his own survival. So when the chief whose army is using bows and arrows sees a gun and gunpowder, what will he do? He's excited. So he will exchange his, not his royals, but his prisoners of war. So all those they said it was the raiders who took the prisoners of war from the chiefs and gave them the guns and gunpowder. Then they, with the drink and then the tobacco, they get more crazy, and then they go inland.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but what I understood the elder to say is that the African chiefs sold the ancestors of those of us who are in the diaspora to the slave raiders in exchange for guns and gunpowder so that they could gain an advantage over other African tribes. Now, that is not to say that every one of our ancestors that was taken as a slave was sold by an African chief. But clearly, that elder admitted that at least some of our ancestors were. And that is directly in line with my experience. Here's a picture of the kinds of guns that our ancestors were traded for that I obtained from my visit to Gorée Island in Senegal. And here's another picture that I took at St. James Island, now called Kunta Kinte Island, in the Gambia. And this again is of the type of guns that were exchanged for our ancestors. Now, does that mean that the African chiefs or whomever exchanged our ancestors for these firearms understood that our ancestors were going to be placed in chattel slavery and treated as cattle and not as humans? I doubt that. Does that mean that gives us reason to have beef or animosity towards our African brothers and sisters? I don't think so. It just means that we need to know and acknowledge the truth. There's nothing to be gained by pretending that none of our ancestors were sold into slavery by others of our ancestors. Let's just know the truth, accept it, move beyond it towards unification and towards restoring a Black world order. Anybody who knows me knows that's always my goal. Peace, my brothers and sisters.